Manita, I can hear you.
Hello. All right.
Manita, I can
Thank
actually hear you
you
very well.
very much.
All
Welcome
right.
to class, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Sorry, the noise in my background. We'll be starting the session now. All right. So, welcome to week 3 of the Gypsy Mentorship and Internship Program. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has really committed themselves to participating in the program. Please, I want to encourage us. Can you hear me? Hello, can we hear me? Sorry, my network seems to be
Yes,
unstable.
sir.
Oh, all right, thank you. So I was saying thank you to everyone who has made it to class today. I know today is a public holiday and some people are celebrating. I think let me even use this opportunity and say happy Eid Fatir. Sorry if I didn't get the pronunciation very well. To all our Muslim brethren, thank you so much for still making our time to be in class today. We hope that you have a very, very wonderful Salah celebration. Uh, to very, very engaging class. So to just kick off, right? My name is Dennis Williams, and I'll be your program.
I don't know if it's me, but Dennis, your line is breaking and we can't hear you now.
All right, can
Dennis, your line is breaking.
Sorry, my devices are acting up.
Okay, so maybe you should try to maybe set it up. Let me continue. So Dennis,
I you guys. All right, so
okay, everyone, sorry about that. I think Dennis is having issues with his network. But can anyone hear me? Please kindly confirm if you can hear me.
we can hear you.
Okay, all right, thank you. So welcome everyone to class today, and we'll be having one of our mentors join us for today's session. She's Barrister Buki Ogunsakin, sorry, and I'll go ahead in reading her profile. So Barrister Buki Ogunsakin is the principal and head Satoshi Thinker as BBO Solicitors. She's an emerging tech lawyer, primarily working with clients in emerging technology areas such as NFTs, metaverse, crypto, blockchain, AI, as well as cybersecurity and data privacy. Buki is highly sought after by her clients due to her 17 years additional experience in strategy and project management. Buki is also currently a consultant with Interstellar Inc. and the Lagos Business School, and a volunteer as Director of Strategy at E4E. She's a smart contract research fellow and a Claire's Decentralized Justice Fellow. She's also a certified NFT expert from the Blockchain Council, a certified international privacy professional, and a member of the Nigerian Bar Association and the International Association of Privacy Professionals. So, really appreciate Mrs. Buki. I can see she's not yet on the call yet. So, um, would
Yes,
Dennis, are
Sophie,
you
can
back?
you?
Hello, Dennis, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I'm back. Thank you so much for helping me run through the profile.
All right. So you can continue.
Can you hear me clearly? Sorry, my network is still not good. Oh, all right. So
Yes,
thank
but
you
it's
very much,
better now.
Sophie, for stepping in. Okay, thank you so much, Sophie, for stepping in to continue from where I stopped. So yes, our mentor is not yet here, but what we normally do is when while we wait for the mentor is that we are going to be taking presentations from the mentees, right? So we're able to have one group make presentation in this class. So please, group one, I'm sure you guys are clear with us. Please, can we kindly have the two presenter make presentations? The mentor has already received your presentation already, and she would be running us through it when she comes on call, when she comes on presentations now, and then as the class moves forward, when our mentor joins in, we receive her discourse and then continue the session. Do we have the presenter for group one with us? If you need assistance sharing your slides, I can do that on your behalf. Just let me know how I can assist you.
Okay, Sam, yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, good afternoon. Hello, Richard, can you hear us? Good afternoon. Sorry, we can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Let me share this slide. Hmm. Teresa, can you please let me share the if possible?
All right. So please give me 1 minute to bring your slides up.
Okay.
So sorry everyone for the delay. Still just having some network challenges I'm trying to walk through, so I will soon be sharing it.
Okay. So should I wait or I can proceed?
Just go ahead with introducing yourself and then the topic. We'll get straight to it once and then once up.
Okay. So my name is Geoffrey Chiogambo, and I'm the presenter for Group 1. And our topic is AI in decentralized finance, DeFi. So basically, what is decentralized finance itself? It refers to a system of financial service and products that operates on blockchain technology instead of involvement of traditional financial intermediaries such as the banks, brokers, or insurance companies. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you. So some of the characteristic of DeFi, that is decentralized finance, are sorry. Basically, it makes use of smart contracts, and these smart contracts are self-executing codes that automatically carries out the terms of an agreement where specific conditions are met, and it does not really need the help of a third party. They are basically decentralized. So there are some key characteristics of this decentralized finance, that is DeFi in AI. One is that it has to do with public blockchain. Now, most applications runs on the public network predominantly. We have Ethereum, which allows everyone to verify his transactions. Also, another example is that of crypto wallets. And then the next characteristic is accessibility. 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 So unlike the traditional banks that requires IDs and credit cards to check, DeFi is permissionless. Anyone with a or with an internet connection and a crypto wallet can participate in the environment. And it is available 247, so there is no a particular time in which it, an individual will try to access it and then he will not be able to access it. Also, it is very transparent. So every transaction is recorded permanently on a blockchain, and this public ledger makes the flow of funds visible and auditable by anyone. Um, are you hearing me? If you have any questions, you can draw my attention to it.
Okay, we can hear you, but before you continue, please, I want to see if we can plead with anyone from Group 1 to please help share your slides because I'm really experiencing some issues and I'm unable to currently share the slides right now. So please, if you have any member from Group 1 who can step in to do that on behalf of the team, I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you. But you can go ahead
Okay,
with.
okay. Um, the next characteristic is that it is decentralized. There is no central authority or a single person monitoring or controlling how the whole process works. So it is very, very, very decentralized, as the name implied, decentralized finance. And then, how has this helped in improving fraud detection and trading automation? Now, this focuses specifically on how AI acts as a digital security guard in an environment that is unregulated. The core problem of DeFi is that it operates um without an without control from like control oversight. There's no individual that is controlling the affair of the business or like the process itself. So that's like one of the major problems. So the solution that is provided is that one, in the slide they are not like that, but like I shorten it in a way that I will be able to explain it well. So one of the solutions is that pattern recognition. So AI models can monitor thousands of crypto wallets simultaneously It's a wallet that usually handles a specific amount of money. And then if a wallet is known for handling a specific amount of money, and then overnight it's skyrocketed and a complex series of rapid transactions occurs, AI can detect it faster, and then it can flag this and as an unusual behavior, and then can trigger alerts before even humans could, to avoid lots of loss of money. Then the next one is identifying worse trading. Now, worse trading is a form of market manipulation where a person buys and sells the same assets to themselves to create a track appearance of high demand. Are you hearing me?
Yes,
Okay. Then, um, sorry, blacklist integration. So AI can integrate with global database sorry, of dirty wallets associated addresses associated with known hackers. It basically can help detect any wallet that is known for dirty transactions and others before humans could, or any other means of traditional finance process to detect online. Please, if you don't understand, can you you can ask me questions so that I can go back and re-emphasize on that.
please, Rachel, just carry on with your presentation. If you have
Okay.
questions, we'll take them later on.
Okay. So the next is trading automation. Now, trading automation points out how technology replacing manual decision replacing manual decision making in financial markets to make trading faster and smarter. This is the use of computer programs to execute trades automatically. These programs follow predefined rules based on price, that is the buying or selling when a stock hit a certain value, and then timing, that is trading at specific time of the day, and value, which is executing trade based on how much of an asset is being moved. The main goal is to recover human emotion and manual delay from the process. Then how AI enhance automation is predictive analysis. Now, under predictive analysis, AI uses machine learning to look at historical data and current market shifts to forecast where price might go next. It essentially educates guessing power by massive amounts of data. So the AI itself helps in predicting analysis of how um, the the market shifts. Then the second one is sentiment analysis. A sentiment analysis, this is basically the ability to process unstructured data. AI scan news headlines and social media posts to understand the mode of market. That is to say that AI itself analyzes news headlines and social media to be able to understand how the markets runs. The third one, sorry, is hyperspeed execution. So hyperspeed execution is while human might take seconds or minutes to react to certain news, AI can react to global events and execute complex strategy in seconds. Does not really take time to do that because it works or runs 24 hours a day and throughout the week. There is no stop. There's no period that it's stop operating. And then the next one is adaptive strategies. So adaptive adaptive sorry adaptive strategies now, unlike a standard programs that follow a fixed script, AI learns from its own wins and loss. If a specific static isn't money isn't working in a volatile market, the AI adjusts it and approach automatically. It does not need anybody instructions to do that. Then the next is there are other points under that. The next is smart contract risk detection using AI. Smart contract risk detection using AI. So under that, smart contract risk itself are self-executing programs, like I said earlier, on blockchains, and they handle massive amounts of capital. They monitor the flow in the code and can be catastrophe sometimes. And some of the challenges is that its immutability. That is, once you have already programmed it in a certain way, there's no way that you can go ahead to correct it or change it. So, and when you compare it to traditional software now, um, sorry. So the problem in traditional software contract is it's it is the developer that simply push it. Sorry, I'm trying to. Sorry, give me a minute. Sorry. Um. Okay. So smart contract, once deployed, it is virtually immutable. That means it cannot be corrected. The problem in traditional software contract is it is based it's a boss if found developers simply push a patch or updates on a blockchain. However, you generally cannot change code the code if a contract once it is live on the network. So some of the risks of it is that if a hacker finds a vulnerability in an deployed sorry in an deployed contract, that code remains open until the funds are drained, or in rare cases the entire community agrees to a complex hard fork or migration to a new contract. Unlike a traditional bank transfer, which can sometimes be reversed or frozen by a central authority or blockchain transaction before transactions are final. Um, some of the limitations of these traditional audits are manual, static, and frozen. And then the manual code review basically it involves human experts reading the code line by line. The problem here is that humans can get tired and it's expensive too to manage. And then the static analysis, it uses software to check codes without without running it. The problem here is that, the weakness here is that it can often mix complex multi-step attack. Then fuzing, throwing random data at a program to secure if it breaks. The problem here is that it is time consuming and doesn't always cover every possible scenario. Um, sorry, give me a minute, please.
Hello, Rachel, are you still with us? Rachel, are you still with us? Please, can we all hear me? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but can anyone else hear her? Hello, please, can you confirm that you can hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
All right, so I guess it's just her. We sincerely apologize. I'm sure probably maybe it's network or something from our end. Our sincere apologies. We have our mentor on call. I think Favor, the person sharing, you can stop sharing. Thank you. Thank you very much. And then, all right, so thank you so much, Ms. Buki Ogusakin, for joining. Mrs. Buki, we are happy to have you in the session today. So thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Today's class we are discussing DeFi, discussing AI and decentralized finance. Thank you so much, Marco. We are happy to have you in session. Please, Ma, we just want to hear from you in the next, let's say 30 minutes. Share with us what you have prepared for us in this session. You're welcome, Mrs. Buki.
Thank you so much for having me here today. It's awesome to be here. Let me see if I can share my slides. 1 second. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, now we can.
All right, thank you so much again. Apologies for joining slightly late. I had to get on a call, which I had to finish before joining. So it's great to be here today. Thank you so much, Gypsy and the entire team, for always having us back to have these sessions on the education of emerging technologies, and it's always an honor for me, really, to join the sessions. And I hope that what I'm able to share today is useful to you all. So just a little profile. I think anyone who wants to connect with me can connect with me on LinkedIn, really. So I was thinking of what to share today. What do we share on DeFi, XR, and AI? I feel like there's a lot of data overload, and I'm always saying that these days, information is readily available everywhere. I also caught part of the presentation that you had today, and I think that was really great that you're learning the nitty-gritty of the technology itself, which is very important. So here I have a slide on the wake-up call to let us know that the law is no longer just about interpreting text. It's about interpreting code, because there's a lot of, we have AI agents now who are helping us with text. You can input anything into AI, and AI will help you decipher a lot of the information that you're putting in. And I think that the hallucination is becoming less these days, with the systems, depending on the kind of system or model that you are actually using. And so it's important for us to know that it's not just about text anymore, but it's beginning to be about interpreting code, putting code together, auditing code, and the like, because we know that we have blockchain. It's showing that my internet is unstable. If you can't hear me anymore, just let me know anyway. So it's very important, that we know that it's mostly about code. The landscape by 2026 now, we have AI and emerging immersive technologies. It's no longer experimental. These are foundational infrastructure. And a lot of people are building behind the scenes with blockchain, with newer technologies, using AI and algorithms and the like. A lot of, just mention the company. Anybody that wants to be relevant in the next 5 or 10 years, they're looking at what kind of technology they need to be building now to be relevant in 5, 10 years. So, that's something that we need to focus on. And of course, we know that there are risks, because we're talking now about AI risks. We're talking about autonomous systems who are acting on their own with no human control. We're talking about borderless virtual worlds where people go into virtual worlds and are committing crime and the like. Who has jurisdiction over those areas and the like? So there are lots of risks, but then there are opportunities to say that lawyers who understand all of these technologies and the new nuances and code and etc. They are the lawyers that will be the top lawyers of the future. So now let's quickly talk about AI in DeFi. AI is in all industries. It will permeate every single industry. So what you just need to understand is that DeFi, as decentralized finance, is going to have AI agents, working on DeFi platforms. So systems that plan, reason, execute all of the trading, the lending, everything that we're seeing will then now be done by agentic AI. We're going to have autonomous trading networks. I'm sure some of us have seen some of these trading platforms that are, pitching their AI algorithms as working without us having to do anything. Some of them, trying to siphon funds from people all over, the place. And then we're going to have AI assisted infrastructure, obviously, all around. So you can just check out some of those. I don't want to dwell on that information. Then for AI and XR, which is AR, VR, and MR, we're learning that digital spaces will become legally relevant at the end of the day. We're seeing that realities will begin to merge. There's spatial computing, I'm sure we've heard of that. There's neural inputs, there's XR and AI integration and the like. NVIDIA, different companies are working behind the scenes to get us a lot of these platforms. And so you can learn more about them, research more about them, get involved where you can with some of their communities and the like, and you see a lot of things happening within the space. There's also the relevant laws. Here I put in the data privacy laws, but there are lots more. You can research more on that. We're talking about biometric data. We're talking about the AI Act in the EU. We also have our national policy here. We have the AI Collective and other things that are happening within the space. We're also talking about liability and the like. There's a lot that is happening.
Hello, Ma. Sorry, we can no longer hear you.
Sorry, apologies. And then, of course, we're talking about liability as well. So learn about biometric data, the importances of it, what the different regulations say about it, the AI Act itself, the EU AI Act itself, the national policies that are beginning to come to fore in Nigeria. And then, of course, liability, because we see that liability is going to become something very important in the future. The platforms are beginning to be created, who will have liability upon products or services that are offered through AI. And here I put that manufacturers are strictly mostly held liable for damages caused by faulty software created by them. But of course, you can read more about that. So what do young lawyers need to focus on? I've talked about data privacy and biometrics. Again, we're saying the same thing about you need to be able to speak both legalese and code. There's AI governance and liability, IP in virtual worlds, regulatory arbitrage and sovereignty, digital assets and AML, compliance, because this is necessary. The platforms need to be compliant. And so young lawyers could focus on any of these areas under any of the industries. So be it fintech, insurtech, agri-tech, whatever kind of tech it is that you are doing, even under general corporate law, actually. So you need to be well aware of these things when we are talking about AI, DeFi, and XR. And so what are we looking at for strategy? Because I always like to look at strategy for everything. For senior lawyers, I know we don't have senior lawyers here, but just in case, the experience with torts and contracts and securities is good. But then the challenge is applying it to systems that operate at a faster speed now. You are operating across borders. And so again, many of the platforms don't have a central person to sue. So what do you then do? So you need to now learn the architecture of the platforms, and then that now helps with how you provide advisory or give your legal services. For young lawyers, you need to be able to understand the tech itself as your competitive advantage, because you guys are the digital natives, right? So you need to use that advantage of understanding the tech itself, at least the basics of it, and then you become that bridge between the engineering team and the boardroom. Truth is, if the boardroom has a difficulty understanding the engineering team, they're going to call on the team member that understands what the engineering team is talking about, but in their own language. So if you can place yourself, in that space, then you make yourself invaluable, right? So those are some of the things to consider. And then I just put here that the final thought is that in 5 to 10 years, client will ask, is this legal? They will ask, how can we make this legally autonomous? So very, very important strategy. And then I also wanted to talk about the fact that you don't have to become a developer, because some people, if you have the calling, no problem. You can go out there and learn Solidity or whatever language it is, and then become a developer. But for those that don't want to become a developer, you really don't need to. You just need to be technically literate, understand the basics of the technology of the space that you're trying to play in. So what are we talking about? Smart contracts. You guys, that's what you guys are doing here, learning about these tech systems, the tech stack and all of that. So smart contracts, the blockchain fundamentals, or whatever kind of technology it is that you're learning for XR as well. You need to know what are the softwares that they're using. How does it work for the building? What does the tech stack look like? Understand all of those things. Then AI agents, what makes this autonomous? You have to be able to know that. How do the agents plan? Which is, again, back to auditing of AI systems and the like, and then you understand the difference between certain terms. E.g., I put here difference between a chatbot and an agentic system, for instance. Then, of course, XR data flows, eye tracking, skeletal maps, gates, neural data, all of these are captured and monetized in some respects. You need to understand those technical fundamentals. And that's really what sets you apart. How do you learn this? You can take free courses. You can use AI itself to ask questions, but the courses generally are more curated for you, which is why they're still useful. You should actually use the platform, use the DeFi protocols, try and use a virtual reality headset. There are so many centers now that have them, not just for games, just to even understand it. And then you understand what data it collects. I know a lot of us are in data privacy. We like to read privacy policies. If you go to a website and you see privacy, you just click on it because you just want to go through and read what their own privacy policy says, certain things like that. So you just need to be able to, in the VR world as well, you can actually read policies in the space, the immersive space, once you're on the VR headset, depending on what you're clicking on and all that. So try and learn that, and then follow developer forums. Depending on where they can find themselves on Discord. Some Telegram is still shaky. Some people are still there. Some are not. Just find where they are, not just the newsletters, and then involve yourself in the process. And then, of course, you master the regulatory patchwork. And patchwork we mean now because, again, jurisdictions are flowing into jurisdictions. So, the major regulations in EU, Dubai, for instance, if you're talking about virtual assets now, you're looking at maybe Singapore, MAS, you're looking at VARA in Dubai, you're looking at Mauritius, you're looking at the FCA in the UK. We're not saying cram everything, right? But at least understand the way it works, okay? And then, of course, if you're a young lawyer today, the recommendation is to spend at least 20% of your time on this technical education that we're talking about, because you really have to educate yourself. Then stop waiting for settled law. We don't wait for settled law in emerging technologies. We have to create like self-regulating organizations. We have to create the frameworks ourselves. We use the traditional laws, and then we create the area that the companies and players are supposed to play in. Then, of course, build a personal brand. You need to write thought leadership and the like. Engage on Twitter. Even me myself, I'm trying to make sure I engage on Twitter. I don't have the time, but as a young lawyer, if I had that time on my hands as a young lawyer, I would definitely be doing that. I know many of us are on Twitter, but we're talking of crypto Twitter or XR Twitter or fintech Twitter. That's what I mean. Not just the regular Twitter streets, right? And then build your value credentials. The funniest thing is now if you are applying for visa, I was to speak at a conference in Brazil. They were asking for my Twitter. They will ask for everything. They want to know your Twitter. They want to know your LinkedIn. They will go through everything. So they'll see what you are doing. They'll see what you are engaging with. They'll see what they're saying. And I'm sure many of us have heard that in a number of countries now, if you are applying for visa, they're looking at those things. So engage, speak, write, let them know what you are all about, right? As a young lawyer. And those things are what they really make a difference, right? So you need to be doing that. Show your work, basically. And then you need to accept that the career ladder is broken, right? Although, again, not everybody agrees with this. So this is a bit on the edge of what I think generally, that the path of, that associate to senior associate to partner, maybe is changing, not even maybe changing. That industry is not entirely stable. We don't know where tomorrow will go. but we know that a couple of people will make serious pivots in their career and leaps based on the strategic imperative that they engage with today. So that's just what we're saying, that you need to consider that as well. In 10 years, there will be fewer lawyers overall because AI will commoditize document review, due diligence, basic drafting. These are things that AI is already doing. Okay, but there will be demand for lawyers who understand the systems where law, code, and value converge. And that is where you need to find yourself. So you need to be asking yourself certain questions about how you position yourself in that area. So a lot of the data and the information is out there. Learn the basic, the technical education like you're doing here, but the strategic imperative is the most important part. And that's really what I wanted to challenge each and every one of you with today, and to make that difference in the team. By the time you are the middleman between developers and the boardroom, you will find that the career trajectory for you will be smooth sailing and upward going. So that's a few of what I wanted to share with us today. Thank you so much again for having me. I hope that was useful to one or two people here. Thank you. Back to you.
Your thoughts with us in today's class. We are very, very, very happy that we were able to have you in today's session. Appreciate. We'll be taking questions now. Please, do we have questions from the side? I think about Buki rather has run us through our discussion on areas and fields that we can begin to take advantage of within this emerging technology of AI allowance. And so please, if we have questions, let's quickly take our questions. We'll be taking our questions into the chat box. We'll read them, and then Mrs. Vicky would help us run through them. So do we have any questions? Please, if you have a question, we'd like to take your question now. Please, if you have a question, you can also indicate by use of hand. You don't always have to send it to the chat box. You can show by use of hand. Please, I want to encourage us to ask questions. I'm sure that you take advantage of the fact that you have a mentor who is versed in this. Put out a question, but okay, I didn't lay your hands up. Please, you can unmute and ask your question.
Thank you, Mr. Dennis. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Barrister Buki. Good afternoon, everyone. This question is one that has kind of been on the world now. I hope I'm audible, by the way. Can anyone hear me, please?
We can hear you.
I hear you now.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So yes, because as a young lawyer, I've been doing a lot of as you said, technological education, and basically been reading a lot on these emerging technologies, intersection between data protection, AI, cybersecurity, decentralized finance, blockchain, smart contracts, and all of that. I've been doing a lot of that, and it starts to feel repetitive after some time, especially where there isn't necessarily a field to put this to the test, right? To put this to a practical test. As much as I have an interest in these emerging technologies, I still have to eat, right? So I still have my traditional litigation lawyer role wherever I work in, because again, bills must be paid. But the goal is an eventual transition. But I'm also of the I'm not naive, right? I expect that, or I understand that it's possible that due to a lack of practical knowledge, the first step may have to be unpaid internships, or you know, jobs that will practically pay entry level salaries or income, so to speak. So I'd just like to know if it's possible that there are any practical practical knowledge platforms, right, or practical opportunities that you can maybe recommend for us, or basically put us on, so that we're able to start applying this thing in real life. And then when I'm crafting my CV for an AI or data protection etc role, I am putting something other than the long list of articles that I've written. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Adekunle, for your question. It was breaking off. I think it's my own network, though. But I think I got the crux of the question. So for those who are just starting within the space, I was smiling when you were saying a person has to eat at the end of the day, because you find that a lot of people come into the tech space, and when they see that it's not entirely, they're not like making money immediately from it, then they retreat into the regular areas of law, right? So what I would say for that is we usually advise that those that are just getting into the space, you have to balance it out. So part of your time is spent building out your new found interest in this new space. And then the other part you can use for your regular 9 to 5 or whatever that looks like for you. Whether you're it's just like the way people who are working with organizations, they tell them you are working in an organizations and you have a side hustle. Your main focus should be the work that you are doing, your 9 to 5, but then you need to dedicate that time and effort outside of your work hours to that side hustle. So that's what I would say, for someone who is already maybe working in a traditional law firm and then is interested in tech. So you use that extra time to begin to build your skills within the tech space, begin to learn more about the technical education. Then the second part that you said about it begins to become repetitive is also true, because you are seeing the same information again and again in the space. But what you then do is you need to involve yourself in communities, because the tech, especially the Web3 space, is very community based, and the developments are usually more obvious in the communities because it's granular level. A lot of the projects that they're doing, they do that in the communities. So you need to involve yourself in some of the communities, the Web3 communities that you can find. Again, this depends on the area of tech that you are interested in. So find those communities, go online. Some of them have like Twitter pages. From Twitter pages, you discover where they are on Discord or Telegram or wherever that is, and then you involve yourself in that process. Otherwise, if you are just on the outside trying to learn the tech itself, it could get boring, and then you're just by yourself. Maybe you find 1 or 2 people, but that being by yourself doesn't help you to grow in the space. So entrench yourself in the communities. Then another way is you can join associations. You need to volunteer your time, because that practical, nobody is going to really hire you at the beginning because you are not an expert in this space. So, but you need to build your expertise. And the way you can build is by being Apologies for the sound. I think they're working on something next door. So you need to build that expertise in the space, and that comes from the practical knowledge. And how can you get that? You have to volunteer your time, so you have to be where they are, the association. Where are the associations? The associations for technology. Let me give a name, maybe fintech, maybe information security, cyber security, data privacy, blockchain. There are so many associations. By the time you get yourself involved in 2 associations, and again, not just associations for just joining the association, say, entrench yourself, volunteer, be part of a working group. These are the things that we do. Even for me, at the work level that I do now, I go to international associations and I volunteer my time that I don't have. I'm still volunteering part of the time to be part of working groups that are, developing on blockchain, AI, and your mind will be blown at the things that they are working on at the global level because they have that information. It's a convergence of people who are experts within a certain field. So there's no way that you will not be highly informed on things that are going on. And then they will need help. They will need support. They will need contributors. They will need, so you can get yourself in there. Also, you get the practical knowledge. People who are building, please, I'm testing this new platform. I need people to help, test the platform. You go in there, you help them, you give your review, you leave, but it's giving you that practical experience. So by the time you do that, that kind of helps you grow in the field. And as you're garnering that practical experience, you find that the opportunities then begin to show up because you built or you are still building and you are continuously building value. So that value, imagine that you have gained from an association, you can take back to a community and then now even charge for the services. The value that you get from the global level, you can bring back local to say in Nigeria and charge for your services because those people didn't have the global access. But you've gotten that knowledge now, and then you can then, start to build on that and say, okay, for this, I can charge that, or this, I'm freelancing for this, I can do this for you. And then you just build that way. So I think it's just step by step, right? And once you put yourself in that circle of community, it will really help. I hope that answers your question anyway. And then I see somebody has a question on smart contracts. Smart contracts are just what we call smart contract. They are Turing complete. They are code that can execute by themselves, by itself. Code that can execute by itself. So there's an if something happens, then this is going to happen, and it's just coded into the system. So, for instance, like the one I always give you here, of if you enter an Uber ride and you want to go to Victoria Island and you shut the door, you enter your address. If the ride is able to take you to Victoria Island with the ride, is going to charge you 10,000 naira, and 10,000 naira will come out of your wallet. That doesn't need to be, there's no human involved in that process. It's just encoded into the autonomous vehicle, just as an example, and it's a smart contract that controls that. So what we are finding is that on platforms like Ethereum, decentralized apps, and the like, all of that underlying code is actually done through smart contracts. So that's what they are. But you can go online and research a bit more about smart contracts. They are the bed, I won't call it bedrock anyway, but the basic foundation for a lot of applications that work, especially, within the decentralized space. Can AI fully replace human traders in DeFi? Nobody knows the future. Right now, they're saying that AI can't fully replace humans. I beg to differ in some respects. Eventually, if we get to AGI, AI will be able to replace humans on a good level. But what we're just saying is, regardless of how good AI gets and what AI is then able to do, as human beings, we then need to make ourselves more competitive. And the more competitiveness will it will help if we ourselves begin to use AI as an extension, or like some people say, as a co-pilot for the work that we are doing. So that's what we're working with for now, because even the researchers don't know where it's all going. We know that there are AI risks, but if AI is able to autonomously control a drone or a weapon, then you can best believe that an AI is going to be able to trade on a platform. But what we just need to do is get the regulation in place to be able to restrict certain actions by AI, right? Because the bad actors will then begin to use it for fraud and begin to use it to perpetrate, criminal activity, which we don't want. So that's my answer to that. So I think those are all the questions for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Barisa, for helping us run through those questions. I sincerely apologize. My network has been a mess today. It has been logging me in and out. But thank you so much for helping us run through them. I think we've had our time in class, and Barista Buki has helped us run through a few things, answered questions, and we sincerely appreciate her for that. So please, just before we go, for those who can you kindly turn on your videos? Let's quickly take a quick picture and then we'll call it a day. Please, let's turn on our videos quickly for the mentees that are in class. Turn on your videos. Let's quickly do that so that we will call it a day. Okay, I can only see one person turning on their videos. Can we have more people turn them on?
Are we supposed to switch on? Should I switch mine on as well? Or is just for the mentees?
Yes, Ma. So thank you, Ma. It's nice seeing you, Ma. Sorry, I'll be doing that in a moment. Still just experiencing some issues. Thank you. All right, so we are done with that. Thank you, everyone. Uh, to join me for the session. Please do not forget to fill in your attendance. Do not forget to share what you have learned in today's session. We will be sending out the new tax for week 4. We want to say once again, Barka de Salah to all our Muslim brethren or our Muslim brothers and sisters in this particular course. Thank you so much for still making our time, irrespective of the celebration, to be here. We sincerely appreciate your presence. Please do enjoy the rest of your day and take care, everyone.